Hi everyone, this is Father Warner, and we are in the Tuesday of the third week of Easter, Acts chapter 7, verses 51 to chapter 8, verses 1a. When you think of the Easter season, you think of joy and peace and hope, and yet the Easter season also has jealousy, scheming, and murder. It takes a lot of hate to throw a stone with the deliberate intent to take another human life. The waters get even more murky when the murderers are not some half-crazed, uneducated village folk stoked by communal hatred, but educated religious leaders of the council themselves. Stephen became the victim of clerical jealousy, nothing short of it. He himself, a recently ordained cleric, was now brought down by clerics of another sect. Such was the hatred against Stephen that the sacred author even recounts that the council of elders ground their teeth at Stephen, and the very men who once saw in his face the face of an angel, as seen in chapter 6 verse 15, now did not want to hear the voice of that angel. For we are told they covered their ears in order not to listen to him. That we read in chapter 7 verse 57. These 7 verses are so shockingly filled with hate, and to make a point, I'm going to list the hate words for you. Enraged, ground their teeth, covered their ears, shouted loudly, rushed at him, dragged him, stoned him, and finally Stephen died. But like the Lord, Stephen too had his last words, and they were love-filled, not hate-filled. In that sense, you may identify in this passage what you choose to see, hate or jealousy or love and forgiveness. Stephen's death was brutal, but he was passionate in his love for the Lord. He was a dedicated servant at table and an ardent preacher of the word. He allowed the Lord to use him to work great signs, yet he never drew attention to himself. He was not afraid to charge the Jewish authorities with the truth when he called them stiff-necked people, uncircumcised in heart. And yet, his last words, like Jesus, were words of forgiveness, for they do not hold the sin against them, he says to the Lord. The death of this proto-martyr of the church was supervised by one who himself was to embrace martyrdom. Saul perhaps participated in Stephen's trial and in his sentencing, and while we know that Saul did not pick up a stone to kill Stephen, he approved of his death. We read this in Acts chapter 8 verse 1. Stephen, true to the meaning of his name, which means crown, won the crown of martyrdom for himself. And how? Look carefully at the text of the martyrdom of Stephen. For present there are the 3 persons of the Blessed Trinity. They were all there: Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. If you, my dear friends, like these videos and would like to share or subscribe, simply hit the subscribe button which you see on your screen. God bless you and have a blessed Easter season.